Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is you're watching this. What's up, guys? It's Christian, cross before the crown. And let me tell you, man, I'm feeling a little more blessed than usual this morning. I am just getting out of mass. Might have something to do with it, but man, it's just God's gonna take care of everything, you know? That you don't have to worry. As scripture says, do not worry, for Christ will take care of everything. You are not adding a year to your life, a day to your life by worrying. Do not be anxious. All will be well. And just let Christ take care of everything, man. So, I hope that encourages you like it encouraged me. We have upper body today. Push, pull. Yeah. Doing some dumbbells today. Dumbbell exercises. I want to get out of the way of this guy in the golf cart so I don't block him. They get kind of ornery down here. If you block the golf carts, don't do that. That's a bad thing. If they had horns, they'd honk at you. A lot. Anyway. Yeah. It's going to be a good one. A lot of exercises that I haven't done in several years. So I'm excited. It's nostalgic, man. It's a very nostalgic, take me back to my roots kind of day. Hopefully. It's probably going to be that way. Gonna be doing some incline dumbbell bench. One of my favorite lifts ever. Was for bodybuilding. What else am I doing today? Weighted pull-ups. I think I'm gonna start with those. I think. Because those are definitely going to be the hardest. I'm probably gonna start with that. Yeah. Because I started with bench the other day. Tuesday I started with bench. So naturally I should probably start with like a pull like back today. Just seems right, you know? But yeah. No cardio today. Like tempo runs. Yeah, we're just gonna be blasting the upper body. Chest, shoulders, tries, back and buys, and everything in between. We're gonna hit it hard, as we always do. Enough chit chat. I'll see you guys there. All right, guys, we are back with the weighted pull-ups. I did one set of 10, and wait, did I? Yeah, I did. And then I went down to 8 for the last 2 sets because, well, for obvious reasons. The first set's always going to be the greatest set when it comes to pull-ups like this. And then the other 2, naturally, yeah, didn't go too well towards the end. Got a little tough. And I couldn't go to 10 in one set, so I had to take it easy. But, yeah, I actually expected these to be easier. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I did do a slower tempo, performed a slower tempo than I usually do. I usually crank these out pretty quickly, but I went pretty slow and controlled on these. And I definitely felt it in the lats and the arms and the biceps. I actually got a decent bicep pump from this. So that was interesting. But yeah, these reps started getting really hard towards the second half of the second set. You'll start seeing here. Yep, my face. Still getting over that bar, but it's getting real tough. A little bit of a body English there. A little bit of a kip. I don't like the kip, but I had to do it. There was no way I was finishing that set without it. But yeah, by the time I hit this third set, it was pretty hard, which you will see. I make it to about 6 reps, and then I take a break. I take like probably 30 seconds or so to bust out the last 2 for the final set of 8s here. That was 6, yeah. And here's the last 2. I had to get at least 8. There we go. And then from there, we move on to the dumbbell incline bench press, an exercise that I haven't performed in years. So it was fun to get back into this for sure. I started with 80 pounds because that's what I used to do. And I changed up the tempo. Like always, I never usually go this slow with a deep stretch at the bottom. Holy shit, man. That changes the game. It really does. Slow down the eccentric, get that stretch at the bottom and explode up. Your chest, shoulders, and tries will be burning like never before. And not to mention, they'll be pumped up like never before. I was pumped after these sets, dude. Yeah, pretty amazing. But yeah, I didn't quite make it to 10. I wanted to make it to 10, but I made it to 8 reps and was like, yeah, I'm done. There's no way. And from recording this right now, I can tell you my chest is going to be sore for the next 2 days at least. So it was fun, dude. It was really fun. I can't wait to bring these back in to the program. I want to be able to get back to where I was. I'm going to definitely I might. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to increase the tempo on these or not. I really like this, actually. I might keep it like this, at least for the hypertrophy phase. I might try to max this out because I do kind of like going a little bit heavier on the dumbbell bench presses. It's fun. It's fun to just grab like 130s and just start repping them out. And everybody else around you's like, what the hell? That's crazy. Not saying I've done that. Well, I did it once, but it was for like 3 reps. That's not exactly repping it out. But anyway, yeah, I got some work to do if I'm going to get back up to that. Though the hypertrophy phase is going quite well, and I like the tempo that goes along with that and the recovery that goes along with that as well. So I like it so far. And we are back with the Pendlay rows. I just really like this exercise, not going to lie. I really do. It's great for the whole posterior chain, really, not just the back. It's obviously a rowing movement, so it's mainly the back, upper, mid back there. But it also works the posterior chain because you have to hold yourself in that position on the way up and down. And tempo's essentially the same as everything else. This is basically going to be the routine for the hypertrophy phase of my training block here. Slow, eccentric, controlled, trying to stretch the very bottom, explosive on the way up. Explosive concentric, I should say. But, yeah, went for 3 sets of 10 here. And you've seen this before. Basically run-of-the-mill reps here. Very easy. I shouldn't say easy, but simple. Simple. Simple does not always mean easy, obviously, especially when it comes to this kind of training. But yeah, I really like the slowing it down on the last rep quite a bit more than the rest. I don't know why. I just like it. It feels good. And if it feels good, I mean, that's part of it, right? Do what feels good. And so, third and final, start feeling it a little bit more. I probably could have loaded this a bit heavier, but I'm not really focusing too much on weight right now because I can always load it more later. I would give this like an RPE 6 out of 10. So I can definitely load that more in the future. And this is one I haven't done in a very, very long time too. I've been kind of bringing it in every once in a while for my accessory work with some of my Olympic lifting programs, but it's one I actually genuinely enjoy doing now more than I used to. I like the idea of being able to stabilize the shoulder as you bring it up. You obviously aren't going to be able to load this exercise as heavy as a normal like single arm overhead press, but with the kettlebell upside down overhead press, it does bring a lot more shoulder stability in there. And as like a final pushing exercise, vertical pushing, dedicating the shoulders to it, yeah, it just felt right to do this because my shoulders were not terribly fatigued, but they were kind of fatigued, so I want to take it easy. This is something that I can load a little bit more in the future too. Though I had a little bit more trouble with my left arm than my right when it came to stabilizing the kettlebell. As you can see, it's wobbling a little bit there towards the final reps of this set, and you'll see in the future sets as well. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a mental thing, but it feels more stable on the right side than the left. It could be because I'm right-handed too. I'm not sure. But a little harder on the left side too. I felt it more in the shoulder too. Like in a good way. There's more of a burning in the left shoulder. But that's actually been like, that's been the routine thing that I experience when it comes to shoulder work. Like any kind of shoulder work, my left shoulder tends to really get fatigued faster for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to be weaker. But it gets more pumped and it burns more. I don't know. It was interesting because it was burning a lot on these reps on the left side, but not so much the right in the shoulder. But yeah, I do like doing this for injury prevention as well. I mean, I could have easily just grabbed a regular dumbbell and rep these out with a little bit heavier weight, but at the end of the day, I just don't really need to because I'm going to be going heavier in the bench press next week, which is a lot of shoulders as well. And so I kind of deem this an accessory exercise. And that's my mentality on accessory exercises are they're supposed to help you get stronger in the other lifts. Not necessarily, you can see I was pretty tired there. I tried to flip back up, but I couldn't. I do my best to perform the auxiliary exercises, but I don't really focus too much on the weights of those movements. If I can perform them properly with lighter weight, I'm not worried about maxing them out because they're not usually exercises that you're going to max out. It's not like the bench or the squat, right? So, yeah, that's why I did those. And I was going to end it there, but I decided that I was not quite oppressing my back as much as I was oppressing my shoulders, chest, and triceps that day. And so I figured I would do a little bit more back work. And so that's what we did. This wasn't too much weight either. It was kind of the last thing. I wasn't planning on doing this final back exercise, but really focusing on more of like a higher pull. I felt it a little bit in the traps actually too. But again, full control on the eccentric as usual. And I really like this exercise with the lat pull down bar. So I basically snag that and put it on here. It allows me to get a little bit closer, more range of motion. I can pull more. And so my chest isn't getting not crushed, but the bar's not hitting my chest every single time. Well, it is, but there's just more range of motion there, obviously. So I like these. Felt these. I didn't really want to load these too heavy either because it was the final thing I was going to do. But I definitely felt it, definitely going through the full range of motion, felt the burn, and that's what I was going for. If it's a pulling exercise like this towards the end and I can't quite make contact with my chest, I usually tend to lower the weight a little bit because I like to be able to make contact. If I can't, it just means I'm not strong enough and I need to focus on the muscles in the back that will allow me to be able to make contact with the chest on these. But we're on the third set here. And I kept the weight the same. Not too worried about that. I'm probably, well, it depends. I might add this into my actual routine on Fridays. We'll see. I do want to develop my back a little bit more. It's always been like not a problem muscle group for me, but just a muscle group that I really want to develop more. I just enjoy it. I enjoy having a thick back. It's nice. Though I do have to be careful because if I have a back that's too thick, it's going to be hard to keep the bar in a mid-bar position on the squat too. So I hold a mid-bar position in the squat. So yeah, I don't want to be too thick in the back, but that's a wrap for today, boys. Now that was fun. Friday in the books, man. That was a good old-fashioned hypertrophy session. Did that rhyme? I don't know, I was capable of that. But yeah, overall, great workout, man. I haven't had a workout like that, like hypertrophy-wise, in a very long time. And man, that was, again, it did bring me back to my roots. It did, 100%. It was fun. You will see how incredibly difficult I found the incline dumbbell bench press. Like, I was not expecting it to be as difficult as it was. Like, I started at 80, just wanted to see how it felt. Dude, like, I'm telling you, if you focus on a very controlled eccentric and go to full range of motion, especially in the incline bench or like the regular bench press, like with dumbbells, and you get a full stretch at the very bottom, and then you explode out the hole, dude, that burned so much. Like, it wrecked me in like a good way. Like, my whole shoulders, triceps, and chest were on fire and pumped. Like, I'm telling you, the research is clear, and you can feel the difference. Like, you're definitely going to get a better hypertrophy stimulus going full range. Don't do any of the, like, retarded, like, quarter reps. No, go all the way, bro. All the way. You see people do that all the time. Especially on the, I don't know why, but you see it all the time in, like, the dumbbell bench press. People, like, go at the very bottom, then just, like, just looks stupid. Don't do that. People are laughing at you. So anyway, yeah, very effective means of training. And I started off with the weighted pull-ups. I started at 95 pounds. Again, went full control. I controlled it as much as I could. I went for 10 reps for the first set, and that's the way she goes, you know, with any kind of pull-ups. The first sets are always going to be better than the final sets, no matter what. And it felt great. It was hard. I want to be able to get to... See, the fact... I was wondering why. Because, like, the pull-ups felt harder than they usually are for me, like with weighted. It was only 95 pounds. I can bust that out very quickly. And I realized that, yeah, I'm slowing down the tempo, like, a lot. That, and I checked the scale, I'm 196 pounds right now, which is insane. I've never been that... Well, I'm usually not that heavy. And so I'm like 10 pounds heavier than I usually am, which is kind of crazy. I'm trying to figure out where all that weight is. I think it's in the legs. I think it's literally all in the legs. But, because I feel as lean, like, I don't feel like super, I definitely don't feel pudgy or like fluffy, as you'd say. No, I feel pretty good. I'm probably at around like 13% body fat. 13 to 15, give or take. And like, that's where I want to be. Especially with this phase that I'm going into. I'll lean out later. Because I can lean out. I have. I'm 196 right now. I can probably lose 20 pounds. And be like utterly like shredded, like ripped. But that's tough to do, man. That brings me at about like 8% body fat. And doing that without any exogenous stuff is hard. It's possible. It's just really hard. And it's going to suck no matter what. I mean, it's kind of also kind of hard no matter what. But, you know, the ergogenic aids help a little bit. But we're not worried about that right now. I'm just trying to get stronger. And bigger. Let's see how long that lasts. I might just say screw it to the strength and just go full, like, hypertrophy, like, looks again. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Nah. Definitely not. But I find that training very fun. I can hit the gym more often, get that dopamine high more often, and honestly just progress more and do more in a day. I like to strive for perfection, knowing that I'll never get there. You know, there's a thing, there's a term in the Catholic Catechism called magnanimity, or being magnanimous. And it's essentially striving for greatness, striving for excellence in every area of virtue and of life, really. I mean, because if you're striving for perfection in all virtues, then essentially that's going to reflect in your daily life. Like, if you're going to strive for perfection in your virtues, you're going to strive for perfection in life. Like, striving for excellence in all things. And yeah, like, first and foremost, striving in faith, which is the fuel and the foundation, faith in Christ, which is the foundation that all of this stands on, right? I don't believe you can be fully magnanimous without having, like, that foundation of faith. I mean, you can have, like, imperfect forms, but I think, like, if you truly want that, like, that fulfillment and satisfaction and that peace, right? I feel like faith has to be there. That's coming from somebody who believes, though, right? And I've been in that situation, like, in the past where I didn't believe. And I just look back at those days and reflect on how I felt and how I lived my daily life. And in a lot of ways, it's very similar to what I'm doing now, except there was more anxiety back then, more fear. Definitely more fear. That's a big one. And yeah, peace just seemed to flee from me. And I thought I was happy too, which is the crazy part. It's like you don't really know what you're missing until you receive that gift that you didn't know you needed. And that gift being Christ and his light. It's a wild topic, man. Like before and after, like a transformation like that spiritually. But yeah, magnanimity is something I think we should all strive for. I feel like that's just what God created us for, to strive for excellence in all things. Like he gave us such abilities. And I feel like most of us, and me included, I'm included in this, most of us just squander our talents that God has given us. And we never make full use of them. And that's kind of scary, you know? Like we have so much potential, and to waste it, like, what is God going to say to us on the day of judgment? Or when we meet him face to face, right? It's like the parable of the talents. It's like, what's he going to say? And how are you going to answer him? Are you going to be confident in yourself and what you've done? Or are you going to squander what God has given you, the gifts that he's given you? And that's something I think about every day. And it's scary to think about sometimes, because me personally, I feel like I don't do the best that I can do. I don't feel like I'm giving my all of the time. I feel like in some cases I am squandering some of the talents that God has given me. And it's a scary thought, and it's not a place I want to stay in very long. And it's really, you work through it, right? That's a feeling that you work through with God because he's with you. And me personally, I do have conversations with Jesus all the time about this. And he always tends to speak to me in ways where he loves to just tell me to calm down. You're fine. Just focus on me. I'll take care of everything. And then I'm like, oh, thank God, thank you. Okay, so I got to remember, it's not me, it's him, right? I can only do so much by myself. I am dust. I can't do anything without him. It's him working through me that achieves everything. And it's like, I just focus on him. And I know that he will not squander my talents, and that I will not squander my talents when he's in control of them. Like my merits are his, right? And I think that's very encouraging and very, it puts me at peace knowing that I don't have to worry about that. Because I feel like we all kind of, in one way or another, we all struggle with fear in many ways than one. But there's always, life seems to pass us by, and sometimes in the monotony of things, we don't feel like we're doing enough. Or maybe we just, we escape, we run away from what we should be doing or something. And then every once in a while when we're bored, it comes to our mind, and we almost get fearful because we know we should be doing something or living a certain way, but we're not. And we tend to run away from that. It's like the law that God gave us on our heart, to know what's right and wrong, to know that he deserves all of our worship and all of our praise. And, well, let's be honest, we don't give him all of that. And it's just something to think about and ponder. And prayer can be as much as just acknowledging that God is there, that Christ is there, and just having a conversation with him like a friend. Like he's in my front seat right now and I'm having a conversation with him. Like, that was a great workout. And like, that's the thing too, like, the Lord's with you in the good days and the bad days. He's with you when you're having fun. He's with you when you're having, like, completely having a horrible time, like just suffering, all that. And so I like to think of it this way, like when I'm having fun training, like he's having fun training with me. He's taking satisfaction and delight in my delight in training, because I'm insane and a masochist and I love training all the time. But he gave me that, though. That's the gift that he's given me. like to be so passionate about it, which is why I'm here doing this right now. I'm passionate about this too. This channel is a form of evangelization as well as advice, and just giving you my 2 cents as a weightlifter, fitness personality, I guess, just a fit guy who loves the gym, giving you a Christian perspective on all things fitness, because obviously fitness is in kind of a weird state right now. If you don't live under a digital rock and you know anything about Instagram and Instagram fitness influencers, TikTok influencers, the fitness industry is kind of in shambles right now. The most renowned and most famous in the fitness industry aren't the ones that should be and don't have the best information. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great information out there, believe me, I know them. But there's a lot of crazy crap out there too. So be diligent. Watch channels like me. Okay. And yeah, if you guys want any information or advice on like what channels are great, I will absolutely let you know. But yeah, magnanimity, faith. You cannot have one and not the other. If you want like real pursuit of excellence, you need to have that faith. And the Lord will set you free. And don't live in fear, for God's got this. He holds everything in the palm of his hands, including you and your life. And on that note, I'll leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you like this kind of content, share this with somebody who needs it, the encouragement. And I will see you guys in the next one. It's Friday. I will see you Monday. We'll hit legs. It'll be a good day. But until then, stay blessed. Peace. And God bless.